Boasting infinite customizability, the Flux Keyboard is finally the answer to what would happen if you made it a keyboard and a display. It's a keysplay. A disboard? Whatever it is, this is just about the coolest thing that I have ever seen. In addition to allowing the display to be used for dynamic macro assignments, language switching, or just sick vibes, it boasts top-tier keyboard specs too, including a 1000 Hz polling rate with a claimed 1.2 milliseconds input delay and adjustable actuation points thanks to its analog Hall effect switches. Oh, and did I mention that the force of those switches can be changed by swapping out magnets, and that the entire keyframe can be taken off and switched to go between linear and tactile feel in just seconds? Not sold yet? The software allows your key maps to change according to the application you're using, and Flux even offers an ecosystem of accessories, including extra buttons, extra dials, and even more extra dials for your gaming and productivity pleasure. It even works across Windows, Mac, and mobile OSs with Linux planned for the future. Wait, already available? Can anything possibly live up to all of these promises? Maybe, but it won't be the Flux Keyboard because we found some stuff that they claimed that wasn't quite true. But there's still a lot to love here. I mean, look at it. And look at these great new colors of polos available at LTTSTORE.com. And look at this segue to our sponsor.
App control. It's like Windows Task Manager, but with actually useful features, like letting you scroll back in time to see what was spiking your CPU, or filling up your RAM, or turning your fans into like a Thunderbird F-16. Grab it for free at appcontrol.com.
The story of how I got my hands on this thing is actually kind of funny. Reddit user FranciumGoesBoom posted that finally, after backing this thing ages ago, his Flux Keyboard arrived. So I slid into his DMs and I said, hey, can I borrow that to make a video? And he was like, sure. Said the story was funny, I didn't say it was long. The base is a solid chunk of machined aluminum. Does that get across the weight? Good gravy, you could kill a man with it. On the bottom, you'll find 2-stage angled feet, depending on your preference, as well as the latch mechanism for the keyframe, which is the piece that goes on top and is the frame that holds the keys. Over on the top, we've got our main USB-C port. Then on both the left and on the right, we've got pass-through ports for peripherals, storage drives, whatever the case may be. And then in terms of other accessories, we've got a dual-headed one here. USB Type-A for data, USB Type-C for another greater than 30 watts of recommended power, and then a right-angled USB-C to go into the keyboard itself, because it's got to power not just a keyboard, but also a flipping display. Well, it doesn't flip, unless you flip it. Now for the part that's really exciting for me. According to Flux, their keyframe uses acrylic to achieve 97% transparency, and wow, that is really clear. But more importantly, has magnets on the side of each key switch that it uses in place of a more traditional method like a spring to provide the spring force that lifts the keys back up. Because of that, you might use the quick swap mechanism to change it out for one with different force or with a different type of key switch. This is a linear one, but they have a tactile keyframe as well. Flux advises against touching the bottom of the keyframe at any time because, I mean, getting fingerprints off of that would be an absolute nightmare, and also advises against using any chemical cleaners, even things like alcohol that you might normally use to clean something like a keyboard, because this is acrylic, and that's gonna be a really bad time. Okay, how's the feel? Ooh. Because there's no stem, you do end up with a little bit of side-to-side play on the key switches, which normally wouldn't really matter, except that if you accidentally press them off center, it can cause them to sit a little bit off kilter, which can lead to it taking quite a bit more force to press them versus if you press them in the middle. It's not the most forgiving design. With that said, you might not need to press it very far. Flux offers the ability to change the actuation point from anywhere from 0.4 millimeters to 2.8 millimeters out of the total 4 millimeter travel. So you can have it be more like a hair trigger as you're typing or as you're gaming. And finally, the passive module, which seems to be basically just a window into the screen. magnets. This isn't needed today, but if you wanted to put on any of their other modules, like their 3-button module, their single dial module, which can be either clicky or smooth, or their 3-dial module, then this would be great. It would allow you to kind of, put one of those over there, one of those over there, or whatever works for you. I'm gonna put this over here. That is so freaking cool. The possibilities are endless. Ooh. Acrylic is not a great material for a keycap. So it's not objectively terrible to type on, but it's not comfortable. It's like kinda almost sticky as you go across it because it's so smooth it almost like grabs you. Okay, all right, okay, let's get the software, Remember when 600 megabytes was a lot for a GPU driver? Pepperidge Farm remembers. All right, here we go. Whoa, hotkeys for changing my actuation modes. So here, we go into actuation, and then I can just change anything I want. Oh, I want a really light WASD, for instance. Boom. Save to keyboard. Oh, they already had one like that. With really light WASD and fairly light everything else. Okay, so we're on the same wavelength, Flux. This is cool. You can take your profiles with you from one system to another. You won't get the detection of your active application, so it won't be able to automatically switch to DaVinci Resolve hotkeys on a non-supported system, or when their polymath software isn't running, but at least you can load up most of the stuff that you need onto the keyboard itself. I am loving the configurability for this. Would I actually love gaming on it though? Wait, no, I have no style right now though. We can fix this. Oh yeah, oh. That is so freaking cool. What is the point of guns if they don't kill people? I can't say there's anything special feeling about it from a gaming standpoint, but I also wouldn't say that it takes anything away. Realistically though, that probably has more to do with my skill than it does to do with the quality of this keyboard. The labs team found that while they claim 1 to 2 milliseconds of input lag, we actually found that it was more like 10 milliseconds on average. Not an incredible result. But can your gaming keyboard do this? Huh? Ooh, clock. Oh wait, I already have clock. Ooh, analog clock. Ooh, flip clock. But wait, there's more. You can upload videos to it. Apparently it has 8 gigabytes of onboard storage. So they claim multiple 1080p movies even. I just want to see the jellyfish now. I just want to play with it. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. For the first time ever, Linus Tech Tips coming at you from a keyboard. I don't even care that it's kind of a bad keyboard. Oh, that's cool. And it's not like a crappy display even. It's not the world's greatest display, but it's decent. They claim 300 nits peak brightness. We actually measured a little higher than that. So maybe they're talking more like how much is left after it comes through the keycaps. We found it was about 280 nits. And it's about 170 pixels per inch. I mean, this is a 1080p display. So it looks really good. I'm watching me manhandle a keyboard while I manhandle my keyboard. It's like having an out-of-body experience or something. This is so trippy. Okay, enough of that. They have a handful of supported applications, so let's fire one of these up and see what we get in terms of shortcuts here. DaVinci Resolve and create. And save. So I'm here in my DaVinci Resolve. All right, in marker, out marker, don't have to think about that. Blade, boom, boom, delete. Oh, dude, there's people I've met, let's put it that way, that would love this. Their only complaint would be, but why not more though? Oh, and this effect is so cool. I didn't even notice this before. If at this point you're thinking, what's the catch? Boy, do I ever have one for you. The price is a pretty tough pill to swallow. $530 US gets you just the keyboard, no extra modules. So If you can see yourself getting more than $500 of extra productivity, or if you just plain need to have that swag on your desk, it does what it says on the tin. If you're quite literally anyone else, it's a little tougher to recommend. But what I can recommend is checking out our sponsor.
App Control. It's like Task Manager, but with even more features, and those new features you're probably gonna use. Imagine this. You're sitting on your couch and then you hear your GPU fans just start whirring up from the other room and you go, that's weird, but I'm not gonna deal with it right now. Well, good news. App Control can help you catch the culprit after the fact with a fully scrollable history of your GPU, CPU, and RAM usage, and even your temperatures. And it can break down in plain English what that strange .exe that's running in the background is, so you know whether you can safely end the task, or maybe it's something really important. Either way, I only noticed it after I totally legally downloaded the cinematic masterpiece Good Burger, but I just need to know what's going on. From there, you can block misbehaving apps or just say no to entire publishers if you're feeling petty. App Control was built by a small team who believed that the default task manager just didn't cut it and expected more from Windows. So they did it themselves. Get App Control today and see what's slowing down your system. Download for free at appcontrol.com.
If you guys enjoyed this video, why not watch the one that I'm playing right now? It's a classic, the world's ugliest keyboard. I don't know why it had that hockey footage in it.